There are some names for ancient evils that just seem to echo through time. They kind of haunt the edges of our culture. And one of those names is Ahriman.
And chances are you've definitely heard the name before, even if you didn't quite realize it. It has this way of popping up in the stories we love, almost like a code word for a very specific flavor of evil. I mean, think about it. From those creepy winged monsters in Final Fantasy to the big bad in Prince of Persia, or that super powerful sorcerer in Warhammer 40,000. Ahriman has become the go-to name for a smart, powerful, almost cosmic-level villain.
So that begs the question, right? Where does this name actually come from, and what did it originally mean? Let's peel back the layers and get to the source.
Our journey starts way back in ancient Persia with one of the world's oldest religions, Zoroastrianism. So the original name is actually Angra Mainyu, and that literally translates to destructive spirit or evil mind. Ahriman is just what that name evolved into in Middle Persian. The main takeaway here is that this isn't just some spooky name. It's a description of a fundamental force in the universe. And this is where it gets really fascinating. At the core of Zoroastrianism is this idea of dualism. You have these two primordial twin spirits, Spenta Mainyu, the Holy Spirit, and Angra Mainyu, the evil spirit. Now here's the kicker. They weren't created good and evil. Instead, at the very beginning of everything, they both had a choice to make. Spenta Mainyu chose truth and creation, Angra Mainyu chose falsehood and destruction. So this isn't your typical fallen angel story. We're talking about a co-equal power that chose evil right from the get-go. But like all great stories, this one evolved. A later offshoot of Zoroastrianism called Zurvanism came up with a new and, honestly, even more dramatic origin story. So in this version, the ultimate god is Zurvan, which basically means infinite time. He performs this epic 1,000-year sacrifice because he wants a son. But after all that time, a single moment of doubt creeps into his mind. And from the pure sacrifice, the good god Ormuzd is conceived. But from that one tiny moment of doubt, Ahriman is conceived. And being the force of chaos that he is, Ahriman literally rips his way out of the womb first, just so he can claim dominion over the world. It's a pretty powerful way to show evil as this aggressive force born from the shadow of creation itself, from doubt. Okay, so how do we get from ancient mythology to, well, to us, to our world today? For that, we have to jump forward thousands of years to the early 20th century and a philosopher named Rudolf Steiner, who gave this whole idea a shockingly modern update. See, for Steiner, Ahriman isn't some mythological figure with horns. He is a very real spiritual force, and he's super active today. He's the spirit behind pure materialism, the belief that nothing exists beyond what we can touch and measure. He represents that cold, calculating kind of intelligence, the kind that's all brain and no heart. And maybe the most chilling part, he's the master of deception, using facts, using data and science to weave these compelling illusions that lock us into a purely physical reality.
All right, so you're probably wondering, is Ahriman just another name for the devil or Satan? Well, according to these sources, the answer is a big, fat no. And the differences are absolutely crucial. Let's start by comparing Ahriman to Iblis, who is the Satan figure in Islam. The difference is stark. Ahriman is an absolute primordial evil, a cosmic principle of destruction. Iblis, on the other hand, was originally a noble being, a jinn, who chose to disobey God. He's a rebel, for sure, but he's not an equal power. He still operates completely under God's authority. Steiner's view makes the distinction even clearer. He saw humanity caught between two opposite poles. On one side, you have Lucifer, who tempts us upward into pride, fantasy, escaping the real world, getting lost in our feelings. On the other side, you have Ahriman, who tempts us downward into cold, hard materialism, fear, and a deadening intellect that's disconnected from our soul. For Steiner, the healthy human path is right in the middle, what he called the Christ impulse, finding a balance of love and conscious awareness that uses both our thinking and our feeling. So you see, they're not the same evil at all. They're polar opposites. And this is where it gets really intense. Steiner didn't just talk about Ahriman as some vague influence. He made a literal prediction that this being would physically incarnate, take on a human body right here in the West sometime in our general era.
And this wasn't just some off-the-cuff remark. He gave tons of lectures about it, explaining exactly how this would be set up and what the goal would be. He actually saw this as a necessary, though incredibly dangerous step in our evolution as human beings. So, how does a being like Ahriman set the stage for his arrival? Well, according to Steiner, he creates the perfect environment. Step 1. Convince everyone that science and the material world are all that's real. Step 2. Encourage abstract, computer-like thinking that's totally cut off from real human experience. Step 3. Make money and economics the measure of all things. Step 4. Exploit every division you can possibly find. Nationality, race, politics, you name it. And finally, become a master of manipulating information, using statistics and facts to sell incredibly convincing lies. Sound at all familiar? So, what are we supposed to do with all this? Is this whole thing just a scary prophecy about doom and gloom? No, not at all. The sources are really clear on this point. The goal of knowing this stuff isn't to make you afraid. It's to wake you up. It's a call to be more conscious, more aware of the forces that are trying to shape our world and how we think. Ultimately, what Steiner was saying is that we have to meet this challenge with our eyes wide open. The biggest danger isn't Ahriman himself. The biggest danger is that we just sleepwalk right through his arrival, that we just accept a cold, soulless world as normal. And that really leaves us with a huge question, doesn't it? In our world, a world that is so driven by algorithms, big data, and artificial intelligence, how do we actually confront these Ahrimanic forces? How do we make sure that our amazing intellect always stays connected to our human heart?